Greg, you've scored a lot of hat-tricks over the years. Can you remember your very first one?
I can't remember it in terms of what game it was. It would have been when I was about 10, I think. I didn't start playing football until I was 10. So probably under 11s, just playing for my little local team down in Somerset that I used to play for. So a long time ago. I can't remember who it was against, but probably would have scored one that season, I'd imagine.
And what about your first hat-trick for the New Saints?
First one for TNS was my first season at the club, so getting on for 9 years ago now. Here at the venue against Newtown, possibly on Boxing Day. I think we won 5-0, and I scored 3, so that was my first hat-trick for the club.
And coincidentally, you're sitting with a board just over your shoulder, and that's you in your first season with the New Saints.
Yes, I haven't changed much. A few of the lads have. Matt's there looking well. He's a few pounds lighter there, isn't he? There's quite a few lads there that are still here now, so nearly 9 years ago now, yeah.
And would you have imagined going back those years that you'd still be here today, still finding the back of the net and still scoring hat-tricks?
No, probably back then I wouldn't have thought that I'd still be here sort of 9-10 years later, or scored as many goals as what I have for the club. But it's nice looking back at all the memories like that one. That's our first league title there when I was here. It's nice to look back. We've had lots of good memories here, lots of fun times, and hopefully there's a few more left yet.
Well, we are talking hat-tricks predominantly this morning. We've talked about your first one ever, your first one with the New Saints, but what about your most memorable?
There's probably 2 that stand out. One of my first season again was the last game of the season against Bangor. The league went right down to the last game of the season, so I think we were a point ahead of Bangor going into it. We ended up winning 5-0. I scored a hat-trick in that game, so that was a nice important one. It was a nice hat-trick as well, and some nice goals in there. So that one stands out probably as the top hat-trick I've had at the club. And obviously another important one was year before last against Kevin Druids when I scored 4 to also bring up my 100th league goal for the club. So that was a nice special one, and nice to score a hat-trick to bring up a milestone like that.
And that was a special one for me as well, Greg, because I've got the boots that you wore in that particular game in my own personal football memorabilia collection.
Yeah, you have probably the last pair of boots that actually worked properly. I've gone for a few pairs since then, trying to find ones that work properly, as Simon Spender referred to last week. But still scoring the odd one here and there, so it's all good.
And let's come right up to the present day, of course, because you found the net again 3 times on Boxing Day against Kevin Druids at the Rock.
Yeah, the most important thing there was bouncing back from the poor result the week before against Cardiff Met at home. We'd gone on a good run leading up to that game, so that came as a bit of a shock really. We'd been playing well and getting some good results, so it was important that we didn't let that sort of stop our momentum. It was important that we sort of bounced back and put in a good performance, and also got a really good result against Druids. And it's nice that I could help out scoring 3 nice goals.
And whilst the New Saints is pushing on at the top of the table, looking to make it 9 consecutive league titles on the bounce, you've got a little battle of your own going on at this present time with Chris Venables. You're trying to make it 3 consecutive JD Cymru Premier Golden Boots. You're on 16, he's on 17.
Yes, it's turning into a good little battle, to be fair. We both seem to sort of be scoring whenever we're playing. Obviously I was 2 behind him going into the weekend, I think. Obviously we played early, so I scored 3 and went 1 ahead of him, and then he played later on and scored 2 against Carnarvon to go back 1 ahead of me. So like you say, it's a nice little battle, and it's it's going to be interesting. But like I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sort of putting any pressure on that. If it happens, it happens. It's great, but most important thing is that TNS keep winning games and trying to open up a gap at the top of the table.
And staying with statistics, Chris Venables has scored a goal in every 95 minutes of football that he's played. However, Greg Draper, 52 minutes. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's an impressive stat. I'm not sure what it was last season, but I think it was down towards that region somewhere. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice to know that whenever I am playing, I'm sort of scoring. Hopefully Monday score a few more and bring that number down a bit more and try and get close to goal every 45 minutes maybe.
And it's not just the JD Cymru Premier Golden Boot Award that you're chasing, but as we discussed the last time we actually sat here in this room, you're actually targeting the all-time league goal-scoring record for the New Saints, which is currently held by Mike Wilde, who found the net on 151 occasions.
Yeah, getting there. I think last time we spoke was after the Airbus game when I'd scored 4, I think. And I said then that it'd be nice to try and get it done before the split. So 2 goals to tie, 3 to break the record, and still 3 more games left in the split. So we're on course for it. Obviously, a repeat of Boxing Day would be nice, and nice to get it done out of the way on Monday. But if it doesn't, then hopefully it'll happen in the next sort of few games. But like I say, the most important thing, we keep picking up points, and that record's going to come sooner or later. So it'll be nice when it does, looking forward to it.
Well, Greg, I certainly enjoyed our chat, and thank you for your time as always. And when you break the record, don't forget where that pair of boots could end up at the end of the season.
Who knows?